Hello and welcome back to another one of my FPL videos. I of course am the FPL train, and in this video we're going to be going through a free hit team ahead of game week 29. Now this isn't going to be the same as everybody else's free hit team, which is, let's face it, it's pretty boring because everybody's pretty much posting the same team. It's all going to consist of Pedro Porro, Son, Doherty, Maddison, Bowen, Watkins, Tony. You know, it's the same boring players. So I figured I'm not free hitting myself. I don't need to do it. So what's the point in me just posting a team that everybody else has got anyway? So I figured let's do a differential. Why should we do a differential team? Well, yes, those players I've named have had pretty good seasons to be fair, but that doesn't mean they score in every game week, and assist in every game week, and get a clean sheet in every game week. Some of these other players on here do actually, or they are having decent seasons themselves. They're just not getting, obviously, the hype around because everybody else is talking about the same players, which is making other people want to get those players, which is just making it a whole FBL boring template. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to do something different here, and that is what I've done. So let's reveal the team then, and you can see it with the goalkeepers already. So I'm going for, on here, Trafford and Martinez as the goalkeepers. So there's no Flecken, no Areola. You know, those are the two I've seen most in terms of having a free hit team. So I've got Trafford on here. Now Trafford's got obviously Brentford. Tough fixture for him, but he is at home. But there is a good chance that he'll have a lot of shots at him, which means there could be, potentially anyway, some save points in him there. So obviously as well, Burnley, they're fighting for their lives at the bottom. They need to get some points on the board. So there's a good chance he could do pretty well this game week. And I've got Martinez as well. Now obviously Aston Villa got absolutely battered by Spurs recently. So they are going to be wanting some payback. They're going to be wanting to get back to winning ways, especially for the fans. And obviously to get the top four as well. They have got West Ham away. Now West Ham is an interesting fixture because they could easily have a terrible game, West Ham, like they did at the start of the year. Or they could play really well. So we don't know what kind of West Ham will come out. But, you know, he could have a few shots as well himself and get some save points there. So I think both of these goalkeepers could do pretty well, to be fair. Obviously, people are going to be going for certain goalkeepers. But, you know, let's say Burnley do get a goal against Brentford. All those people have got Flecken. I don't think Flecken's going to be getting any save points in that game because I don't think he's going to get many shots. So that's another reason as well where I would say, you know what, just leave Flecken. And I do think these two goalkeepers are pretty decent and they could do pretty well, to be fair. So definitely I would recommend either going for a Trafford or Martinez for this game week. With the 5 defenders then I've got on here, first of all up on here, it is a gamble. And it is, of course, Matty Cash. Now the reason why I went for Matty Cash is, well, we all had him at certain points in the season where he looked like he was going to do really well and then he got dropped. And he's not really done much since, but he has now played the last 6 games, a full 90 minutes. Now, no Konza's back from injury, but, you know, Aston Villa still have quite a few injuries at the back, so there's still a good chance that Matty Cash can play in this game week. And like I said, we don't know what kind of West Ham team will turn up. The fact that it is obviously away from home for Villa is going to make it a little bit tougher. But, you know, if Matty Cash can go back to where he was at one point in the season, get a few assists again, this could be a decent shout out right there. So, yeah, definitely something to look at. If you want it, if you're not 100% sure, you can just put him on as your first bench option. Then we've got, obviously, the 2 Fulham defenders here. I've gone for Castagna and Robertson. I think Robertson himself, I think he's had a pretty decent season this season, to be fair to him. He's got 5 assists for the season, which is pretty good, to be fair. You know, I was going to say West Ham then. Fulham have looked okay this season, to be fair to them. Now, they do have, obviously, a tough fixture coming up against Spurs, but it is at Craven Cottage, so you never know. He could do something there. And I've also got Castagna as well. Now, this one, I would put him on my bench, to be fair, Castagna. I wouldn't have 2 Fulham players, and if I had to start one, I'd start Robertson, and I'll put Castagna definitely on the bench. I've got him on here. He's only got 1 assist this season. He's not really done that well, to be fair. So, yeah, you could obviously go for, let's say, a Reguilon, who's obviously a lot of people are after. Maybe a Luca Dean or Moreno, but you just don't know which one's going to start there. Or, of course, even a Doherty, who everybody's got, though, so that is an issue. I just figured, you know what, this gamble will go for a double Fulham defence here. But, yeah, I definitely would have one of these guys on the bench if I'd start him. Got Toffolo for Nottingham Forest. This guy himself's had a pretty decent season for, well, yeah, he's just had a good, decent season. So obviously, at the start of the season, he wasn't really getting many games, but now, you know, the last couple of games, he's had 90 minutes. Obviously, it was injuries at Forest. I don't know the Forest team that well, to be fair, but he's looked okay in the last 2 game weeks. Got a goal this season, 3 assists. I know, of course, this game week coming up, he's got Luton away. I think Forest could do pretty well in that game, to be fair, and I definitely would start him in this game week. So, I mean, obviously, Luton have just scored 3 goals in the last, well, yesterday it was now. So, you know, look, probably not expecting goals, but let's face it, what I will say is, it doesn't matter what defenders you picked, whether it was Pedro Porro, Doherty, Reguilon, you know, if they, I mean, defences haven't been great this season. Defenders, I mean, clean sheets just aren't there, let's face it. So it doesn't really matter really what defenders you get. Obviously, you go for the players I mentioned because of attacking returns. Robinson's done well this season. Toffolo's got a goal and a few assists this season. Obviously, Matty Cash has done great this season at the start at some point anyway. Now he's not been so great, but still. But the final option on here, I've gone for Udogie ahead of Porro. So this is obviously a gamble on deciding which defender for Spurs is going to get those bonus points and that assist. Because I know, obviously, Pedro Porro has been the better option as a whole during the whole season. But, you know, Udogie's had his moments. He's got 2 goals and 3 assists himself. So he's no slouch, to be fair to him. So, yeah, I definitely think, you know what? It doesn't matter about money as well. Because, let's face it, in this team alone, I've got 23.4 million in the bank. So, yeah, Udogie, I think, you know, everyone's going for Porro. Go something different and go for an Udogie. So that's why I've gone for this back line. Like I said though, I don't expect clean sheets really as a whole in the whole game week. So for me, it's probably about attacking. Well, for everyone, it's about attacking returns. And obviously, the ones that I mentioned, whoever he's going for, it's just boring. But I do think Udogie could get you an assist. Robinson could get you assists. And if Matty Cash, right, if this guy starts, you know, it's a tough fixture to be fair. But at some point in the season, he did pretty decent. I mean, I know he only had 2 goals and 1 assist, but he got 2 goals either way. But you never know. So yeah, that is the defence that I'd recommend. So then, with the midfielders then, this is what it looks like when you don't have the box standard same 3 as everybody else. And starting us off, we've got Kuleveski. Now this guy is definitely going under the radar in terms of who to go for, because everyone's siding with, obviously some for, you know, we get that, but they're also going for Maddison instead. Well, why not go for Kuleveski? The guy's got 6 goals and 3 assists this season. I'm 99% certain that he is going to be playing the full 90 minutes as well. So, you know, he's definitely a great option. He's always up there, always getting attacking. Well, he's always up there anyway. It's just, I don't know why everybody's just like kind of ignoring him. Like, I get it that the odd people are going for Simon Maddison, but why not go for Kuleveski? Why is there not somebody out there going, you know what? I'm just going to gamble there and go for Kuleveski, because he's not exactly a bad gamble. He's a great player. He's going to get 90 minutes. And obviously, he got an assist in the last game week against Villa. He could easily get you a goal or an assist against Fulham, because he's such an attacking player. So yeah, he's somebody definitely going under the radar, and somebody I definitely recommend. You then got obviously the 2 West Ham guys that got in here. So that means instead of going for a Jared Bowen, why not go for Kudos and go for Paqueta? Kudos, I mean, had that great stint at one point in the season. He's got 6 goals and 6 assists this season. 2 assists in the last 3 games. Again, somebody who's going under the radar himself. Only he's less than 5% owned currently right now. And Paqueta, now this guy is key to West Ham's team. Now, before Bowen got that hat-trick against, I can't remember who it was now, nobody wanted João Bowen because they said the same thing. He's not getting shots in there. His XG is not great. It's terrible. There's no point going for Bowen. Paqueta comes back. Bang, bang, bang. The goals come in. Everything's going well again for, obviously, West Ham. I mean, he's only been back for 3 games, but, you know, he's still come away with 2 wins and a draw. And, obviously, he's got a goal in that game. Now, he's got 3 goals and 5 assists this season. Pretty decent, I think, for Paqueta. Yes, it's a tough fixture against Aston Villa at home, but I think he's a quality player. In my opinion, I think he's West Ham's best player. Now, obviously, Jarrod Bowen's will give you. I'll give Bowen the best player alongside Paqueta. I think both of these guys are key for West Ham. But Paqueta, like I said, everyone's going for Bowen. Why not go for this guy instead? Yes, he's cheaper, which doesn't really matter in this free hit. But I think you've got to have him starting, because I do think he could do pretty well. Got Ross Barkley in here next. Now, I was interested in going for maybe a Chong. He's currently flagged up, but he did well last night. And then I was also thinking maybe Andros Townsend, but he's not getting the minutes still. He's not fit enough to play 90. Whereas this guy, Ross Barkley, he plays 90 minutes majority of the time. He played 87 last night against Bournemouth. Got the goal, of course. He's done pretty well this season, I guess, to be fair. 4 goals and 4 assists this season. Definitely somebody, wow, if anybody's going to get a goal in the midfield for, obviously, Luton, it's going to be Ross Barkley. Forest at home is not the worst fixture for Luton. So, yeah, definitely somebody I would look at there. And then finally, Elanga. Now, this guy, when it comes to going for a free hit team anyway, I've seen a lot of people, when it comes to going for a Forest player, they're going for Gibbs White. Now, Gibbs White's a quality player. Don't get me wrong. He's on penalties and that and all. But Elanga, this season, it's been quality. He's got 5 goals and 7 assists this season. That is pretty decent, to be fair. He's quick. I think he'll cause all kinds of problems on that Luton defence, because they don't really have any pacey defenders. I think he's going to run them riot in this game week. So I definitely think Elanga is the better option compared to Gibbs White. Obviously, I understand why people want to go for Gibbs White, but I think Elanga is a much better option, and I think he'll cause all kind of problems for Luton. Now then, onto the strikers. So, there's no Tony and Watkins here. First of all, I've got Timo Werner. Now, this one is a big gamble, because first of all, we don't know if he's going to start. Now, he scored 2 goals in the last 2 games to Spurs, so I'm kind of hoping that will push him to start. But the fact is, he only played 3 minutes in the last game against Aston Villa. Got a goal in that 3 minutes, but he only played 3. Yes, he played 91 in the game week before that. Then he only played 19 minutes against Wolves. Started then against the likes of Brighton, Everton, Brentford and United. So hopefully, getting that goal against Villa, he might get a start. But this one, obviously, you can't guarantee. So this is a massive gamble, because obviously he could be on the bench for you. But 2 goals in the last 2 games is definitely somebody to have your eye on. Now, Carlton Morris, on the other hand, I know a lot of people will be going for him this game week, but getting that third striker, to be fair, I found kind of difficult, because obviously West Ham have got Antonio, but he's not really fit, I don't think, to really start. Danny Ings, not really an option. I know he scored the other day. Obviously, Fulham, I don't know which striker to go for there. Forest, I mean, who do I want there? I'm not quite sure either. So yeah, it was really difficult. I mean, Burnley maybe for Fafana. That was probably about it really. So I would say Carlton Morris. He's at home. He's got Forest. They've just been beaten by Burnley. I mean, they scored 3 goals though. He didn't get a single goal or an assist, which was quite a surprise really, to be fair. But you know, played 90 minutes. He's going to play 90 minutes again on Saturday. He's on penalties. For sure, you've got to get Morris in, I think. And then that leaves us then with Wizard. So this is instead of going for Ivan Toney. Wizard's had a good season this season. He scored 7 goals so far. Got 2 assists. He scored 3 goals in the last 3 games for Brentford. So the guy is in hot form right now. And now he's coming up against a team, Burnley away. Now Wizard's known for his pace, and I reckon he's going to run Burnley ragged this game week. I understand why people are going for Ivan Toney. Now, if you want to go for Ivan Toney, 100% get that. If you want to keep Toney as well, 100% get that as well. I definitely would double up as well if I could. I mean, in this team, you definitely could. So, if it was me, like I said before with Werner, if you're not 100% certain, take Werner out, bring Toney in, and have Toney and Wizard, because I do think those two will cause havoc against Burnley. I definitely think Wizard will get a goal in this game week. So, yeah, I get why people are going for Toney, but Wizard's done really well this season. I think he's definitely worth going for. So that is the team that I'm recommended for this game week. That is the free hit team. So the formation I would go for is a 3-4-3 formation. The players I'll drop, obviously the strikers will be the normal 3 there. I'd probably put Barkley on the bench. I'd have obviously Robinson on the bench, and I'll probably have Cash on the bench. Maybe Toffolo's 50-50 there. But that is the team. Let me know what you think of this team. You know, in my personal opinion, I think this is a great team. I'd probably swap Werner for Tony if I wasn't 100% sure of his minutes. But everybody else's minutes, I think, are pretty certain to play. Obviously, Matty Cash as well as another guy. But yeah, let me know what you think of this team. Let me know what you're doing for this game week. Please don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one.